Hi, everybody. New Jersey Forensic Accountant here. Today, we're going to talk about a pretty exciting topic. It's one of those things, like I said, a lot of times I just do on this channel here what I feel like is fun for me and maybe interesting for you guys. And this is going to be about what I call the millionaire maker. And it's based on my experience, seeing people accumulate a lot of money over a long period of time. And some of the things that they've done, and I'm going to share with you in this video. So listen, guys, if you could subscribe to this YouTube channel, it'd be great. It helps out a lot. And hit the like button if you like us. And like I said, you can leave some comments below. But let's talk a little bit about what it takes to become a millionaire. Okay, as a forensic accountant, I've worked with some of the wealthiest people, not only in the country, but in the world. And, I get pretty close and talk to them, and they tell me things that are pretty interesting. And a lot of those things about how they accumulated the vast amount of wealth they have. Now, I realize many people give advice on how to make money, like Jim Cramer, Cathy Wood, Warren Buffett, and Dave Ramsey. And listen, a lot of the advice they give is good and it's well-meaning, but it's not really telling you how to do it the easy way, the cheap way, because remember, they make a living giving advice. Now, I don't make a living giving advice. I make a living as a forensic accountant testifying in court. So this is just a video that I'm going to tell you some things that they'll never tell you. There's a lot of books out there, and like, it can't hurt you. But the one really interesting book that I found was If You Can by William J. Bernstein. And it's really not even a book. It's a pamphlet. And I don't know, you can buy it for a couple bucks or maybe even find it free. And this book, what they talk about is, in the book, some key takeaways, budgeting and savings. I mean, unfortunately, when you talk about becoming a millionaire, you got to address some of this stuff. Now, budgeting and saving, he goes into that in detail. I mean, basically what you need to do is put some money aside right away and spend the rest, right? It's easy to do that. Buy an investment or, park your money somewhere. That's the best way to save, and then spend the rest. And he gives you some good techniques in the book. Basic finance, okay? He talks about, the more risk, the more reward. And the more reward, the more risk. So if you're risk adverse, you probably don't want to be buying, these cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, or high-risk stocks. Financial history of the markets. You can just go back to the Great Depression and you can move forward. You can see like the market is continuing on an uptrend, but there's always risk. There's wars, there's depressions, there's recessions, and, we've been through a couple in the last 20 or 30 years. The next thing is that the biggest problem to becoming wealthy is you. And he talks about that quite a bit. Spending money you don't have, not working hard enough, that kind of stuff. The financial service industry wants to make you poor and stupid. Now, it's pretty interesting chapter to read, but, what he's saying is that they do give advice, but remember, they have to make money from that advice. So in some ways, you got to be careful when you listen to anybody. Now, let's just, I'm going to give you a quick look at this pamphlet because it's pretty interesting. A pamphlet, I call it a pamphlet, but this is the book right here. Like I said, it's short, and he talks about savings, save 15%. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to give you some highlights. People spend too much money, number one hurdle. They don't understand finance. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Okay, and this is a good way to think about the markets, but I prefer history doesn't repeat itself, but human nature does. And, that's where the greed and, we go from greed to conservative, and that's why the market goes up and down. So really, I would say, instead of rhyme, I would say human nature repeats itself. Important to remember that. So if you see something happening, well, what did people do in the Depression? What did they do when the market collapsed in 2008? And that will repeat itself. Basic stuff. Like if you have a 401k match, make sure you match it. Eliminate card debt. Risk is the chance that it will fall short, right? The more the risk, there's a good chance it may not happen. High return, high risk. He talks about Vanguard Fund, which I do like. Again, you have to have low-cost investments to make money, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Why is everybody afraid of stocks? I mean, overall, stocks outperform everything in the long term. I mean, right now when I'm doing this video, the market's, getting crushed, but it's probably a good time to buy. Yeah, it talks about here. Yeah, technical analysis, which is, basically looking at charts. I'm not a big believer in technical analysis. I like fundamental analysis. I don't believe in, you finding patterns that really don't mean anything. It talks about, what you need, and he talks about this Vanguard group again, which we're going to talk about a little bit. But anyway, that is a good kind of, just a view of the book. And like I said, it's a pamphlet. Take a look at it. Okay, here's what I've learned. Okay, there are only 4 simple things you need to do to become a multimillionaire. Here's the 4 things. Okay, invest in a tax-efficient vehicle. Something that's tax-efficient like a Roth IRA is great. Most people, depending on your income, you can contribute to it. The rules we're going to go over quickly later. But mainly for this video, let's say you're going to go for a Roth IRA. Low-cost investments. This is where the Vanguard group, they charge 1/10 of 1%. Okay, a lot of funds out there will charge 1% or a 0.5%. And it sounds like it's not important, but it means a lot. So if you buy like an index fund that is very low cost, it goes a long way to becoming a multimillionaire. Dollar cost average. Right now the market's crashing. If you're always buying every quarter or every month, you're going to naturally buy at the high and the low, and the average is going to be better. And if you put your money all at once and risk, maybe you're buying at the high point. You see, here's a chart. Like here's probably a good time to buy, 1900, 1920. Not a good time to buy here, and obviously we've been on an uptrend lately. You still want to buy here, not here. So dollar cost average. Earn a market rate of return. S&P 500, I think last year returned 26%. 26%. Okay, I think the average is 12%. So if you earn like 11% on your money, that's pretty good. So let me give you a little example. Let's assume that you took my advice here and you said, maybe Bonavito knows what he's talking about. I'm going to do what he said here. I'm going to try and put, let's say $400 and some dollars in every month. Let's say I'm going to put into a Roth IRA. I'm going to put in, what did I say, 400 and something, 400 and, so let's say $417 you're going to put into the market. And you're going to do this from age 20, and you're going to stop at age 30. So that's 11 times, and that's about $5,000 a year. And that would be a total of $55,000. Let's say you took my advice and you did that. Okay, and you only did it, and you put it in a Roth IRA. You got a market rate return, your dollar cost average into the fund, everything we're talking about here. And like I said, you only have done it from age 20. You only did it from age 20 to 30, right? That's 11 periods. It's $55,000. And maybe you're too old to be 20 years old, but you can tell your kids or your nephews or your friends' kids this. So let's say you did that. What do you think you would have when you retired at age 67? Okay, you put in, like I said, over 11-year period, $5,000, a total of $55,000. What do you think you'd have? Like, let's say it went up, quadruple. So it was like you'd have like 200,000 or something, or 250,000. Or let's say you're really crazy and you said, oh, you know what? Let's say I would have. Let's say I would have 500,000. Okay, because you're earning a market rate return, which is 11%. It's tax-free because it's in a Roth IRA. You're putting in $417 per month, a total of $5,000. Well, let's say $1 million, okay, at age 67. Well, here's what would happen in reality, okay? Here's age 20. You put in the 555. You stop here. This is $55,000, okay? You're earning 11%, okay? You're 30 years old. And you have 108, your money doubled basically. Okay, then you're going, and by 40 you'd have 300,000. I think that was pretty close. By 50 you would have 875,000. And remember, you didn't put anything in after age 30. You didn't put one penny in. Okay, let's see where we are at 60. Whoa, you're a millionaire. You become a millionaire when you're 51 years old. Let's say, yeah, sometime during your 51st year you'd become a millionaire. So this video would prove it. And then when you're 60, you would become a multimillionaire, 2.4 million. $5,159,930. Okay. And remember, these are just numbers. This is something you're never going to hear from, anybody else. No one else is going to show this to you because they don't make any money from it. I don't make any money from it. I just like to do videos. Okay. So you're probably saying, yeah, but I'll never earn 11%. Okay. So let's say you only earn 10. That's 3.4. Or 9. That's 2.3. Or 8. That's 1 point. You're still a millionaire. 7. Okay. If you earn 6, you have 680. So no matter what you do, okay, you're going to have a decent amount of money. Now, so let's talk about some of the details here, and let's talk about, okay, the Roth IRA. Let's just, talk about this. And here's the link. You guys can look this up. But, here's a Roth IRA. It's pretty simple. It's tax-free. The money grows tax-free. If you take it out after 5 years when you turn 50, it's all tax-free. There's some limitations you should know about, but you have the link. You can look this up. The other thing is like you're saying, oh, you know what? You're full of crap because I'm never going to earn that kind of money, right? Well, let's take a look and see if you can earn that kind of money. Okay, so here's some these are returns from inception. Okay, here we have this Vanguard fund. It earned over 12.5%, which is higher than what we're using. So you'd have more than 5 million. You'd probably have like 8 million. Here's a dividend equity fund. Over the life of the fund, it earns 10. So there's a lot of different things in here. And remember, the market is right now crashing, so these returns are lower than they should be. But there's a lot of stuff earning over 10. And even if you put it in an S&P 500, you're going to probably get 11%. And you can just go on the same link and figure this out for yourself. So listen, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them below. Me or one of my analysts will get back to you. And again, if you could smash that like button, it helps a lot. Thanks a lot. Signing off, New Jersey Forensic Accountant.